Ladies and gents, we're going to show you some very interesting center backs here in our continuing list of Wonderkids for FM24. So let's dive in. Yes, we have a varied list today, ranging from ones that everyone and their mother should probably know about, to those that are brand spanking new to many people's eyes and minds. But we are starting out today with one that every FM player has heard about and knows about and has probably picked up a time or two in their careers. Yes, Georgio Scalini has been around the block for a little while and has been the wonder kid for center backs for several seasons. He's only got another year left or so until he's no longer considered a wonder kid, so it'll be very interesting to see how the list changes from that point on. However, as you can see, mentally, he is fantastic. He's got some great technicals as well, some room to grow. 19 years old, no question about it. Already has a couple of international caps to him. Last season, I didn't pick him up for too much after a season or so keep an eye on him. Hopefully, he dips down in price a little bit and you can pick him up on a real steal. Levi CW, another one I checked out last season on FM23. Definitely looks pretty nice mentally. He's got some good numbers. Composure of 16 is fantastic. He's got acceleration and pace. He's got some fantastic physicals as well for a 20-year-old. He can play on that left side as well. He's not going to be too bad to look at for a little while. Again, pricey, so might want to keep him in your books just to make sure that when his price dips a bit, you pick him up immediately. Antonio Silva from Benfica, we covered him in our all-over list of wonder kids. And again, not quite as nice as the previous two. However, physically and mentally, he's looking pretty nice. Technicals for the center back role is looking pretty nice. 15 of tackling, 14 of marking is definitely ones that if they grow, fantastic. If not, they're already out at a really good pace. So keep this kid in your books. If you can't pick him up now, again, another one to take a look at a couple years in and see how he does. Luca Vaskovic is 16-year-old Croatian right now. He is joining Tottenham in 2 years. So this is definitely one for the future. However, at 18 years old, he's probably going to be pretty fantastic, I would hope. He's got some good overall numbers for a 16-year-old. Definitely room to grow. Acceleration and pace are down. He's got some numbers that definitely, overall, he needs to grow no matter what. Marking of 11, tackling of 11, not the greatest for someone who you want in your starting 11. However, again, in 2 years, 3 years' time, those numbers could be just flying high. But so could the price tag. Next up, we have 19-year-old Ivorian Osman Diamand. Contracted to Sporting right now. Again, some fantastic numbers. Passing of 15, marking of 14, tackling of 15. He's got some great numbers to slot in most starting 11s on most European teams. He might have an issue with some of the higher ones. However, look at these greens. Vision, composure. They're fantastic no matter what. Strength of 16 is terrific. So if he can maintain this and grow in some other areas, he's got a lifetime ahead of him in fantastic clubs, making some serious money. Wage-wise is not a problem. It seems to be if he's closer to that 73 million, that's where your transfer issue is going to be. Lenny Yoro from Lille, 17-year-old Frenchman. Right now, again, stats looking okay. He's got 16 determination, which is fantastic. Acceleration and pace aren't there, but a lot of center backs don't have that. However, overall, he definitely has some lower numbers than you'd like for your starting 11. Again, 17 years old, plenty of room to grow. 22 to 67 million could be, depending on how much you can actually pick him up for, a little pricey. 4K on the wages, not too bad. But 15 heading, it's pretty fantastic. Definitely one I would have on the bench, or at least in my B team or under 21s. See how he progresses from there. Maybe send him out on loan for a year or two. See how he comes back. But if things grow the way he's expected to, yeah, he's going to be a fantastic addition to your squad. Ilia Zabari from Bournemouth, 20-year-old Ukrainian. I've taken a look at this kid in our FM23 player profile series. He looks pretty nice. Mentally, he's got some good numbers. Again, a lot of things he's got single digits, and it's kind of, he's got a 14 or a 13, or he's got an 8 or a 9. So there's a lot of disparity between those numbers. Physically, he's doing fantastic. He definitely has a lot of room to grow. 15 tackling, marking of 13 is not too bad. Not something you want to shake a stick at, but overall, he definitely has plenty of room to grow. He's got some time to do it. It'll just be depending on if you can pick him up for somewhat cheap. Again, see how Bournemouth use him. See if you're able to pick him up a little cheaper, and see how his career goes. Definitely keep him in the books, though. Zeno Dede, what a fantastic name. 19-year-old Belgian at Anderlecht right now. Again, some fantastic numbers. Could grow. 14 tackling, 14 marking, 15 passing. Love it. Definitely one that would be close to my first team if depending on which team I'm using, but also could be in my first team if I'm a little lower on the table or a little lower on the totem pole as a squad player too. So you can definitely, hopefully pick him up at least on the cheaper side. But as time goes on, hopefully he can only grow and do really well, slotting immediately into your first squad. Another one that's on the somewhat cheap scale, I guess, 29 million. Wages wise is nice. Regular starter though. Almeria's Kiki is one I was looking at for my Valencia squad. Unfortunately, Valencia have zero money to spend on transfers this season. So you got to get a little bit creative. But 19 years old, again, some fantastic stats to start out with. 14 marking, 14 tackling. Some physicals are there nicely as well. Strength of 13 is not too bad. Plenty of room to grow, plenty of time to do it, as I always say, but definitely one to scout for the future. And if you're a smaller team, one lower in the table, if you can afford his transfer fee and afford his wages, definitely one to keep in mind. We are going to finish up today with Uriel Hatto, Dutch 17-year-old contracted to Ajax right now. The versatility on this is fantastic. He can slot in as a DM if need be, but on the left and center back roles, he is just natural. Love that in someone who can play multiple roles, especially on the center back line. It's fantastic. Some 13s and 12s. I mean, tackling of 13, marking of 13, strength of 13, not too bad. Again, time to grow. Hopefully he will, given enough pitch time and enough training and all of that. He needs to get into the games. But at 17 years old, he's got so much time to grow, it's not even funny. One I would definitely take a look at if I could afford him. So that is our list of Wonderkid center backs in FM24. There's so many out there. You just have to throw a stone and you'll find one pretty much. But I wanted to throw some interesting names out there, some new names that I hadn't heard about before, I hadn't seen much of. You've got some really young players. You've got some right at the line like Scalini is getting to that Wonderkid line where he only has another year or so left as a technical Wonderkid before he makes his full breakout. But you know, some interesting players to take a look at. Definitely ones to scout and keep in your books to see how they grow over the next, season or 2 or 3 or 4. But that is it for me, 7FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.